Earth's surface is 70% water, yet only about 20% of our world's oceans have been explored. While many scientists turn outward to space to explore and stumble upon new findings, there are so many mysteries that lie on our own planet, right beneath the surface of our seas. While there has been no traces of megalodons, mermaids, or the lost city of Atlantis, we have made some startling discoveries when trying to understand the large uncharted territory that is the ocean. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 ocean discoveries and how humans have affected ocean life. The impact of Navy sonar on whales and other sea life. Discovered as early as 1822 by Daniel Collodon, sonar finally got its sea legs at the end of World War I in an effort to detect submarines. Though Paul Langevin had invented the first sonar-like device in 1915, it was unfortunately too late to help the war effort, and sonar as we know it wouldn't start making waves until navies began using it in World War II. Although an incredibly helpful tool during wartime, it's safe to say that navies were not considering the impact on marine life when first using sonar. Sonar, which is short for sound navigation and ranging, is the use of underwater sound waves to determine the location of objects. There are 2 different types of sonar, active and passive. Active sonar, which has been commonly used by navies, involves a device known as a transducer that emits a sound pulse into the water. When this sound pulse hits the surface, like a submarine or a whale, the pulse reflects back to the transducer, indicating that there is something in the water. These reflection pulses can then be calculated to determine how far away this object or creature is. Passive sonar, on the other hand, utilizes a system that does not emit sound and instead listens to detect any sound that comes near. However, since 2001, it has been determined that active sonar is extremely harmful to whales and other aquatic animals, specifically a type of active sonar referred to as low-frequency active, LFA sonar. LFA sonar emits sound at a decibel nearly twice that of a rock concert and can maintain the decibel of a concert for 300 miles underwater. Not only is this incredibly loud, it's severely detrimental to animals who primarily use long-range sound underwater to communicate with others, to find food, and to navigate. LFA sonar has led to animals losing contact with other members of their species, to them no longer foraging for food, and to them swimming deep or rising quickly because they are frightened by the sound. LFA sonar has also caused hearing loss and hemorrhages in whales and dolphins and has contributed to a shocking amount of strandings, also known as beachings, in which many animals have died on land either due to being beached or to severe injuries sustained from LFA sonar. This has disproportionately affected beaked whales, a type of whale that typically dives deeper in the ocean. The United States Navy's authorization of using LFA sonar has come under legal battle more than once, and in 2012 it was found that the Navy was in violation of the Marine Mammals Protection Act of 1972. When brought to court, it was ruled that the National Marine Fisheries Service, NMFS, was not doing enough to protect sea life from the Navy, and NMFS has since put limitations on the Navy's use of LFA sonar. Environmental agencies such as the National Resources Defense Council and other environmental groups have also limited the Navy's use of active sonar, which is now only supposed to be allowed in mammal-free waters in certain locations. However, despite evidence of its harmful effects on aquatic animals, the Navy is still permitted to use LFA sonar in our oceans. Whale songs are getting deeper. Whales are one of the ocean's most majestic creatures, with the blue whale being the largest animal in not only the entire ocean, but also the largest animal on Earth. While you may have heard of a few different species of whale, like the blue whale and the humpback whale, did you know that there are 90 different species of whale? And strangely enough, multiple whale species have dropped the pitch of their voices over the past few decades. Whale vocalization, often referred to as whale songs, is the low-frequency sounds that whales produce to communicate with each other. Since 1960, however, it has been discovered that some species of whale, including different kinds of blue whales and fin whales, have lowered the pitch of their sounds. Some of these whale songs are in such a low frequency that they are barely audible, if at all, to the human ear. At first, it was believed that these whales had changed their vocalization due to how loud the ocean had become. The theory was that the underwater noise caused by ships had impacted whales' lives to the point of them entirely changing the way they speak. While some whales have had to adapt to this change in noise by waiting for ships to pass by before communicating, it has been proven that this theory is false. The new frequency that whales speak in is quieter than their usual songs, but more importantly, while some whales do live and travel in highly trafficked waters, it was found that even whales that don't live in an area that has a high volume of maritime traffic have lowered their vocalization. This has left scientists with two leading theories, both of which could be working in tandem. One theory is that sound now travels further distances in the ocean. Specifically, this theory claims that climate change has altered the pH level of water in our ocean. Because of greenhouse gas emissions, the carbon dioxide level in the ocean has increased and has made the water more acidic. This acidity has caused sound waves to travel farther than non-acidic water, meaning this new environment has led to whales speaking at a quieter, more appropriate volume. The other theory is that the whales don't have to speak as loud anymore because there are more whales closer to them. Though it may be a strange way to put it, this is simply claiming that the whale population has increased. Sadly, many species of whale are classified as endangered since they were hunted to the point of near extinction. At the beginning of the 20th century, blue whales had a population of over 200,000, but by the 1970s they were down to 360. Since then, conservation efforts have become more serious and whale populations have rebounded. Since there are more whales in the waters than there used to be, perhaps whales don't have to project such a louder sound anymore because they have more companions nearer to them. The Blob in the Pacific Ocean. Though it may sound like the classic sci-fi horror film trope, the Blob is a real ocean phenomenon that first appeared in 2013. Much like we had heat waves on land, so too does Earth's oceans, and in 2013, a large marine heat wave was discovered in the Pacific Ocean. This heat wave was massive. It eventually grew to be 1/3 the size of the contiguous United States, and it spanned from Alaska to California, impacting the entire west coast of both the United States and Canada. The water in this heat wave was about 7 Fahrenheit degrees warmer than it should have been. Though 7 degrees may not seem like much on land, the strange occurrence drastically affected the weather. When heat waves occur, it's natural for storms to roll in and drop the temperature. However, the Blob fought off and pushed away oncoming storms for over 2 years until a storm finally defeated it in 2016. Believed now to have been a natural result of climate change, the Blob blighted entire marine ecosystems. Because the water was unseasonably warm, there was a bloom of toxic algae. Phytoplankton, who primarily eat algae, are susceptible to temperature changes, began to die off in large quantities. Despite being smaller than a grain of rice, these tiny crustaceans are a vital part of the underwater food chain. With plankton being in low supply, fish and other animals whose main food source was plankton were in competition with each other and had to travel farther distances to find food. In a chain reaction, this lowered the fish population, leaving seabirds, sea lions, whales, otters, and other marine life hungry and desperate, eventually killing many of them as well. Although for some animals it was difficult to tell if they died from starvation or from consuming the toxic algae. Since then, the marine life affected by the Blob has bounced back, but things are not the same as they were since before the Blob, and they might not ever be. In 2019, there was evidence that the Blob had returned when scientists had found similar temperatures in the same areas that were previously hit. Luckily, the waters have since cooled, and right now, in 2020, there is no talk yet of another Blob soon. However, since these major heat waves are a result of climate change, it is likely that the Blob will be back, and scientists believe this may just be the new normal. But what do you make of these ocean discoveries changing from human impact? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.